It's the nightcap on day 2 of the Southland Conference tournaments. And on the winner's side of the brackets, HBU against UNO. Welcome to Constellation Field just south of Houston. Spectacular weather after some downpours earlier today. Well, here is a look at the bracket. New Orleans, a huge upset yesterday over #1 seed Sam Houston. HBU revenge from last year. They 10-run ruled Central Arkansas, so they meet here tonight in the winner's side of the bracket. The loser of tonight's game will take on Sam Houston State tomorrow at noon. On the other side of the bracket, Northwestern State, the surprise in the regular season, the surprise of the postseason as well. 5 runs in the 9th to beat Southeastern. They are 2-0. Nichols stayed alive with a 10-4 victory over McNeese today. Welcome inside the broadcast booth alongside former college pitcher Nick Strong. I'm Matt Peterson. We're excited after we were part of an offensive display last night. Maybe some better pitching here tonight, Nick.
Yeah, you will get that better pitching. But yes, for the Huskies, it was a 14-run onslaught last night. That's how they got the job done. Not to mention Grant Buck. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs led the way. On the other side, for the University of New Orleans Privateers, they defeated the Sam Houston Bearcats with the situational hitting. A sacrifice fly here, sacrifice bunt there. Then it was the bullpen that came in. Jacob Long, and you also had Reeves Martin to come in for the save. I expect the same pitching performance for the UNO Privateers to get the job done tonight by junior left-handed pitcher Brian Warzak.
Well, there is the starting lineup for Jared Moon after his team scored 14 runs last night. The only change in the batting order is Jake Scott, who comes in at DH. And that's Jonathan Dukoff, the on-deck hitter. He'll follow Tyler DePreta-Johnson at the top of the first inning. Brian Warzak, the New Yorker, comes on. He's the ace of this staff, 2.56 ERA, a contender for pitcher of the year. He led the Southland Conference with 117 strikeouts and only 88 innings in the regular season.
Yeah, this guy, Brian Warzak, all the way from New York. As I was looking at the roster, I saw what, head coach Blake Dean has been doing on the recruiting side. He's been going junior college. He's also been going out of the state. One thing that I noticed also that he has on his playoff team tonight is a playoff experience. If you take a look right here, early on, we saw the first pitch being thrown out by head coach of Santa Fe High School, Ronnie Wolf, and there's his team right there behind him. They went through a tragic incident last week, Friday, down in Santa Fe, Texas. And Matt, this right here shows a lot of pride from the Houston Baptist Huskies taking up for the Santa Fe Indians.
We'll get into more of that as we go along tonight, but we are set for baseball. Here is the first pitch from Brian Warzak to Tyler DePreta-Johnson, and it's a called strike.
Another first pitch strike to start things off for the UNO Privateers.
Home plate umpire is Bobby Entricken. Chris Simons at first, Robert Holloway at second. Ron Teagues, the third base umpire. Quickly 0-2 on Tyler DePreta-Johnson, who was named first-team all-defensive shortstop for the Southland Conference. Second straight season he's gained that honor.
I reckon to say I'm looking at an all-American defensive team from this guy as well, Matt. This guy's pretty good. He made some great defensive plays last night at the shortstop position. It's the 6-4-3 play that he made to end the 4th inning, if I'm not mistaken, and he had a couple of, ground ball plays. He had some putouts and some assists out there as well on the field. Great job out there by Tyler DePreta-Johnson.
Warzak into his windup. And a fastball runs away. Steady diet of fastballs from Warzak. He had to pitch on Saturday to help New Orleans get into the tournament. They went into a tiebreaker with a few other teams, and they earned the 8th seed after several tiebreakers helped decide the final 2 slots in the Southland. There is strike 3, a fastball over the inside. DePreta-Johnson caught looking.
Great job right there by the lefty, Brian Warzak, to get things started off here real quick. A nice strikeout to lead things off here. Here's the fastball on the inside half of the plate. It froze to DePreta-Johnson right there at his knees.
A good start for Brian Warzak. And now it's Jonathan Dukoff. Dukoff, the center fielder, batting from the right side. Fastball misses in.
Dukoff had a great offensive game last night, Matt, the 6'1 senior, the 6'1 junior from Kingwood, Texas. 2 for 4 with the RBI last night. Great job by Dukoff helping out this offensive attack last night.
Fastball runs away.
You had a great story to talk about Dukoff last night with the leukemia. The guy, he came in from Baylor last year. He sat out last year. He's a transfer. You talked to the coach and everything, Matt. I'm just very happy for this kid, from Kingwood, Texas.
Follicular lymphoma.
Yes.
He was diagnosed with after a checkup for a sports hernia in December. As we see a visit to the mound early on. Looks like...
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. It's kind of early for a mound visit, but you never know, And I'm not sure what's going on here, but there's somebody coming from the bullpen. I don't know if they're making a pitching substitution. I don't think so. They're probably bringing him something.
Absolutely. Looks like a new rosin bag.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Wow. Timeout. I've got to get his number. Is that number 18? He came all the way from the bullpen to give to give Warzak a rising back. He's the MVP right now.
I've never seen that before.
Well, we saw last night with the glove transition as well.
Yeah, we saw the glove transition mid-game. That was a rosin bag on 2-0.
Not only mid-game, it was actually mid-warm-up.
Absolutely. Mid-warm-up between the 8 warm-up tosses. And on cue, he pumps a fastball in the strike zone after getting a new rosin bag. 2-2.
The rosin bag is the real MVP so far for Brian Warzak.
Jonathan Dukoff, diagnosed with follicular lymphoma January 5th and pronounced cancer-free just a couple weeks ago, as he's played this entire season battling that illness. Pop-up. Devin Morrill makes the catch. A strikeout and a pop-up for Warzak to start the first inning.
Yeah, great job right there by Devin Morrill to get it that pop-up. His Scott Crabtree was right over there, but the second baseman usually has, a little bit more. He has better position over that first baseman, so he caught the first baseman, Scott Crabtree off, and he took it himself. 2 outs here for the Privateers early on.
Spencer Halloran. Big swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Now it's the big 2-3-4 in the order. Dukoff, Halloran, and Heck. Heck was the Southland Conference Hitter of the Year. Halloran also a first-team All-Southland Conference pick. Mostly hard stuff here in the first inning from Brian Warzak as he goes back to his preferred rosin bag.
I think he brought that one from the Big Easy.
Halloran 2 hits last night, 2 walks, and 2 runs scored. Pop up behind first. Crabtree hoping for a play that will reach the seats.
Nice room out here at Skeeter Stadium, at Constellation Field. Enough foul ball room to, get some plays going, but that one just a little bit too far inside the bleachers here. You look at Spencer Halloran, you talked about it. Southland First Conference first team. Last year, he made the all-tournament team in 2017, so this guy actually has some tournament experience. Not to mention, you talked about the 2 for 3 last night in the opening round.
The 0-2. And a curveball, and he swings through it. What a start for Brian Warzak. 2 strikeouts and a pop-up. And we stay here for the mid-inning break. The Southland Conference strikeout leader strikes out 2 in the first frame. We'll get our first look at Zach Carter as he takes the hill. And the lineup he'll face, the New Orleans Privateers. A shock upset yesterday, overcoming a late 3-1 deficit to beat Sam Houston State in extra innings. Morrill, McGee, and Howard, the first 3 in the order. Vaillant, Bratton, and Robinson to follow, then Crabtree, Morrill, and Willis. A steady diet of lefties and righties in the batting order for Blake Dean in his third season.
Yeah, that offensive lineup yesterday, Matt, as I talked about, they got it done with the situational hitting. They were trailing going into the ninth inning, if I'm not mistaken. They tied it up 1-1. Excuse me, let me take that back. They tied it up 3-3 in the ninth inning, and they got the fourth run in the 10th. But this is a team who's not going to power you offensively. They're going to go with the bunt. They're going to go with the sacrifice flies. They're going to put the ball in play. They're not going to power you. They're not going to hit a lot of home runs. But if they can get the job done tonight, you talked about it, lefty, righty, lefty, righty. That plays a part in what they're trying to do on the offensive side of the baseball.
Here's the defense for HBU. Paul Shaw in the battery with Zach Carter, Buck Fitzgerald, DePretta Johnson, Elijah Simon, Halloran, Dukoff, and Matt Heck. Heck, spectacular catch in the first inning last night, taking away possible extra base hit from Hunter Strong, a double play that got Matthew McCullough out of the first. What a brave play, crashing into the hard fence, a chain link fence right before the bullpen.
Didn't know it was going to go. It didn't know if it was going to go and twirl round and round like we've seen in some clips before back in the old minor league baseball stadiums.
And leading off for the Privateers, designated here, number 12, Colin Morrill.
And I'm also looking to see, we have Colin Morrill and Devin Morrill, you know, two guys. I saw that they were from different neck of the woods. Not sure if they're related, but they're not brothers. I know that for sure.
First pitch from Carter runs inside. 15th start of the season for Carter, 4-4, a 3.91 ERA, 74 strikeouts and 101 innings.
Zach Carter all the way from Arlington, Texas. He's a right here. He's a Texas product. And actually medical red shirt last year as well, you know, so he's coming back in the mix.
Good changeup. Morrill couldn't lay off. 1-2.
Zach Carter also has a distinguished pitcher of the week, Southland pitcher of the week award this year already. An early 1-2 count here, trying to stay in front of the batter. You want to try to get the first batter out at all times, at every inning. It always helps your averages. You know, in baseball, we play a lot of law of averages. You play a lot of, you know, numbers. You play a lot of, I mean, when you think about it, you know, a batter who hits every 3 out of 10, you know, who gets 3 out of every 10 hits, Matt, you know, he's a Hall of Famer, you know, so, you know, baseball is always about the numbers.
Good at bat here from Colin Morrill. He's making Zach Carter work here in the first inning.
Great job as a leadoff man by Colin Morrill. Has already got Zach Carter up to 6 pitches, 3 foul offs right here. Great job as a leadoff man. You want to get as many pitches out of the pitcher as you can at the leadoff spot.
Off speed and a swing through. Morrill down on strikes as Carter wins the long battle.
7-pitch out right here for Zach Carter. Great job doing the battle up there. In the dirt, went to the off speed, threw Morrill off at the last minute. With that long swing there, I think a curveball was right up his alley. Great job there by Carter.
Owen McGee in from the right side. Breaking ball misses outside.
Owen McGee yesterday 1 for 5 against the Sam Houston Bearcats. First team Southland Conference. And I talked about it earlier, talk about recruiting here for the New Orleans Privateers. You know, Blake Dean has been going all around the country. Has also stayed local in some aspects. Delgado Community College. He also made a trip to the NJCAA World Series. We talked about that yesterday, junior colleges. And this guy has already been there. He's also been a part of 3 state tournaments at the high school level. So Blake Dean grabbing guys with playoff experience all around.
Fastball runs high. They did not know their fate till the final day of the regular season, had to await the tiebreakers, and then they upset Sam Houston State yesterday. Hard hit to short. Tyler DePretta Johnson, no problem. Strong throw to first.
We called that a vacuum over at shortstop. Tyler DePretta Johnson stayed down on that baseball. Kids out there, if you're looking, this is textbook. Take notes from this guy at the shortstop position. Here's a hit. Here's a look right here. Here's a shot. Handcuff right there. But stayed with the play and made the throw across the diamond. Great job, 6-3 for scoring at home.
DePretta Johnson, a transfer from Golden West College. His high school coach, Michael Burns, at Trabuco Hills High School, said that he was known as Hands, spectacular hands. And Villarreal, his junior college coach, said he's always good at finding the hop. He goes to find the short hop, find the long hop. That one was the short hop, but he never seemed fazed by it.
Yeah, and you got, not to mention, there's a great field right here. You're going to get a true hop off that dirt. Great job out there.
Foul back by Pierce Howard, the left-handed batting right fielder.
Yeah, Pierce Howard all the way from Lynchburg, Virginia. Went 2 for 4 last night against the Bearcats. Really helped out in the 3-hole position.
Hitting .292 on the year, 7 homers. Check swing on the high fastball.
You can take a look right there at that defensive alignment for the HBU Huskies. They're going to put on a light shift to the left-handed side to play the left-hander batter. Third baseman off the bag, maybe about 15 feet over there.
Looked like a changeup, swung on and missed. Beautiful pitching from Zach Carter. We have the early makings of a pitcher's duel. 4 total strikeouts in the first inning in the nightcap from Sugar Land.
The University of New Orleans is a comprehensive urban research university committed to providing educational excellence to a diverse undergraduate and graduate student body. The university is one of the region's foremost public resources, offering a variety of world-class, research-based programs, advancing shared knowledge, and enhancing the industry, culture, and economy in the greater New Orleans area.
Second inning from Sugar Land. New Orleans and HBU. And so far, very good pitching between Brian Warzek, the New Orleans starter, and Zach Carter, the HBU starting pitcher.
Great job by Warzak to get through that first inning. 2 strikeouts and a fly ball there to the second baseman. If he can get this second inning off the same way, that'd be great. We talked about it earlier, Matt. The Santa Fe Indians out there. Coach Ronnie Wolf throwing out the first pitch in honor of the Santa Fe Indians. Great job out there, by Coach Moon, getting with Coach Wolf, as you talked about last night.
Yeah, Rome Schubert's here, the sophomore pitcher who was shot Friday morning at Santa Fe High School and came back, was with his team along with Trenton Beasley, a catcher. They're in attendance here tonight. Just a great show of spirit and perseverance from that group, and they're sitting in the first and second row right to the left of the HBU dugout, which tonight is on the first base side. And as we detailed last night, HBU received approval from the NCAA to wear Santa Fe baseball caps, the same hats the baseball team wears. They arrived yesterday, they wore them last night, and sure enough, he scored 14 runs and had an opening victory against Central Arkansas.
Yeah, and great, and a lot of respect goes out, from Coach Moon to Coach Wolf. He talked about it yesterday, as we talked to him in the pregame, but before the game started. Has a lot of respect for those guys down there. What can I do to help you guys? This is what he did.
Heck up the middle. To his left, Darren Willis. No problem for the New Orleans shortstop. As you saw in the graphic, Matt Heck, the Southland hitter of the year, retired here in the second inning. Now it's Jake Pulshon. There's the rest of the accolades. Northwestern State Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, and Coach of the Year. And they've parlayed that into a 2-0 start in the Southland Conference Tournament, a comeback win in the game preceding ours, 5-1 over Southeastern. They scored 5 runs in the ninth to steal the victory.
Great job by those guys out there from Northwestern State.
And Brian Warzek, the pitcher for New Orleans, on another year, he might have been pitcher of the year. There's been so many good starting pitchers in the Southland Conference this season. Tyler Gray won the award, but we've seen a lot of ERAs around 2.5 of guys that didn't win. And Warzek led the conference in strikeouts.
Well, awesome performance last night by Matthew McCullough. 7 innings, complete game victory. Great job out there by that guy. He was first team. He didn't get pitcher of the year, but, he definitely made his case known last night.
Well, Warzek is the ace. As we said, he had to pitch last weekend just to get New Orleans into the tournament. So it's the benefit of having your ace on day 2 in the winner's bracket, trying to go to 2-0. That's ripped fair just past the bag at third. Pulshon will hustle into second with a double.
Great job right there by Jake Pulshon. Right down the third base line. He was thinking 2 out the box. When he rounded first base, he was looking all the way to second base. Take a look right there at the ball going right down the third base line. There it is. He was thinking 2 out the box. He wants to stand up, put himself in scoring position for the next batter coming up to bat. That'll be Grant Buck.
An RBI chance for Buck. And there's a line drive base hit into center field. Pulshon's being waved in. The throw is cut off. Buck on the first pitch delivers an RBI single, and HBU jumps in front in the second.
3 for 3 last night with 2 home runs, and he continues his offensive onslaught today from the left-hand side. Take a look at this swing. Nice stroke right back up the middle. Scores 1 to put the Huskies on top.
Grant Buck heating up as the season wears along. Just his 27th start of the year here tonight, about half the games, but a big night last night, as you mentioned, Nick. 2 homers and an RBI single in his first at-bat on day 2. Scott watches a pitch up in the zone for ball 1.
Jake Scott, another homegrown Californian, Huntington Beach, California. You talked about that California pipeline yesterday.
Scott did not play last night. Yep. Comes in. Anthony Jones was the left fielder. Scott's the DH. Halloran's playing left field tonight. Scott hitting .253 for the year. And a 16th start of the season for the DH.
Warzak trying to hold Grant Buck close over there on first base.
2-0. Warzak was cruising, retired the first 4 with a couple strikeouts, but Pulshaw ripped the double inside of third, and Buck on the first pitch an RBI single. And now a 2-0 count.
Good job to take right there. 2-0 his count. Wanted to look for a good one, just not his pitch. Warzak touched the outside half right there, real tight.
That's hammered out to left. Back is Robinson. He makes the catch just shy of the track.
Jake Scott took a good swing at it, just couldn't get the wood on it like he wanted it.
No problem for Jay Robinson, the left fielder for the Privateers. Elijah Simon.
Race number 36, Elijah Simon.
He had a very good night last night, especially defensively, really smooth and consistent at third base. Also had 3 hits, including an RBI double in the first, as HBU scored 4 runs off Tyler Gray, the Southland Conference Pitcher of the Year.
Elijah Simone, you know, another guy on this HBU roster who has state championship experience, won a 2A state title in the Texas Association of Parochial Schools with Brazos-Port Christian High School down in the Angleton area. I had to look back at some of my notes, Matt, and I was on that call as well for his game. I've seen him and his brother play before. It was kind of, you know, shocking. I get a chance to call him again up here in the Bigs.
1-1 the count on Simone. Be fun to watch, Nick, as Warzak tries to pitch off that fastball. He established it in the first inning, but having some trouble here in the seconds.
And again, you mentioned it last night, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the Houston Baptist Huskies. Great job by those guys in the bottom of the order last night. 3 home runs from holes 6 through 9 last night.
Good take. That breaking ball drops below the knees, 2-1.
And I think Simone is going to try to wait on that fastball. He's not biting on that off speed at all. A good shot right here into right field could also get Grant Buck around the third base.
And now he misses with the fastball. Jack Fitzgerald on deck, a dangerous number 9 hitter. Hit a 3-run homer off Tyler Gray last night in the 5th inning, broke the game open, made it 8-0. HBU received 3 homers from slot 6 through 9 in the order. 2 from Buck, 1 from Fitzgerald. And a borderline pitch called a strike. A generous strike. Seemed to miss inside, but the call given by home plate umpire Bobby Intrigan.
Interesting here. Full count, 2 outs. You'll more than likely see Grant Buck taking off on the pitch.
Strike 3 called. He goes back to the very same spot. And Warzak strands 1. HBU takes the lead. 1-0 going to the bottom of the second.
Honoring all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. Every division, every sport, the Learfield Directors Cup. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook, find us online and on Twitter. The Learfield Directors Cup.
The NCAA College World Series returns to Omaha. Catch the CWS action and style with the NCAA experience, powered by Prime Sport. Enjoy premium seats, pre-game hospitality, and create memorable moments. Make memories that last a lifetime with the NCAA experience. Be a VIP. Visit ncaa.com/CWS.
The scouts checking their notes between innings.
I see Ralph Gardner stands there, Atlanta Braves scout there. Always scouting the local Houston talent, has taken many of players here in the Houston area over the past 15 years.
He was here at the earlier game, the comeback from Northwestern State over Southeastern, a 5-1 come-from-behind victory. Just to recap the other games today, Nichols stayed alive with a 10-4 victory over McNeese. McNeese eliminated. Sam Houston State held off Central Arkansas 4-2 in a game that featured a 90-minute weather delay. Sam Houston State stays alive. Central Arkansas eliminated. First pitch swing and hit out to Tyler DePretta Johnson. A bobble and a throw to first in time. You're almost surprised by a bobble from DePretta Johnson.
Matt, this guy is tremendous. Great job out there by DePretta Johnson. Another short hop. I'm sure he works on that in practice every day because that's one of the normal baseball progressions that happens at practice. Great job to stay down on the short hop, and it was the throw. He took his time, know who his runner was going from home to first. He had time to make the throw. Another 6-3 if you are scoring at home.
Fayon retired. And a breaking ball is in there for strike one, taken by Bo Bratton, the catcher. DePretta Johnson did not make an error in the entire regular season in Southland Conference play. He has one error all season, which is the fewest in the country for a shortstop with 250 or more chances. Foul ball at home plate on the check swing from Bratton. As we talked with Coach Moon last night, he said it should not have been an error. It was a low throw, but a pickable ball at first base, and the first baseman that night did not pick it. So he could have an error this season, but as it goes, a slightly low throw and his only error.
Bo Bratton, another junior college transfer for the Privateers. Went 2 for 5 yesterday against the Sam Houston Bearcats.
Well, the schedule is shaping up for tomorrow. We know the 9 a.m. game. It's an elimination game between Southeastern and Nichols. Southeastern lost just about an hour ago. Nichols won earlier in the day to stay alive. That's at 9 a.m. and then scheduled for 12 noon. Sam Houston State, the number 1 seed, against the loser of this game. And Northwestern State's 2-0. They'll meet the winner of the 9 a.m. game in the mid-afternoon, as that just misses. And the winner of tonight's game will meet the winner of the noon game. So the winner of tonight will meet the winner of Sam Houston State and whoever loses tonight. So this could very well be a rematch tomorrow if the loser beats Sam Houston State.
It's shaping up to be a good one, nevertheless. Sam Houston State stayed alive. You know, I talked about it last night. I like New Orleans' chances tonight. You know, I just think the pitching performance, of Brian Warzak has to be there. You know, the offensive attack that Houston Baptist put on the Central Arkansas Bears last night was great. 14 runs. Can the Huskies keep the bats alive tonight is the question.
Looked like a changeup away. Bratton could not lay off. Spectacular start for Zach Carter. 3 strikeouts. And good defense behind him from DePretta Johnson on the other 2 outs.
Take a look at this pitch again. Nice and tight on the outside corner. That's called hitting your spots. The Rembrandt is what I like to call it.
Jay Robinson, the left fielder. Out to DePretta Johnson. An easier hop for him. Throw on the money. 3 up, 3 down. Zach Carter has retired the first 6 he's faced through 2 in Sugarland. HBU in front, 1-0.
What does it mean to be Southland strong?
It's not just big wins.
It's success in the classroom
and being engaged with service,
family,
passion, integrity,
overcoming adversity,
hard work and dedication,
bettering people around you,
striving for excellence,
leadership and competition
on our campuses
and in our communities.
We are Southland Strong.
Constellation Field, just south of Houston, Texas. This is game number 8 in the Southland Conference Tournament for yesterday, for today. And 2 teams already eliminated. And after this game, there will be 2 teams who are 2-0. Northwestern is 2-0 after their victory just about an hour ago. Sam Houston State will play the loser of this one in an elimination game tomorrow at noon. And the winner of this one advances to the 7 p.m. game tomorrow night. Double elimination format. Championship game is Saturday. Well, here's Jack Fitzgerald, the number 9 hitter. And as we talked about last night, Nick Strong, this is the number 1 homer hitting team in the Southland Conference. Yes. 53 homers in the regular season and 14 different players with a homer. So it's no surprise that Fitzgerald, batting number 9, hit the 3-run homer last night.
You know, it's always surprising for that number 9 hole hitter to, surprise you with the home run. It's a great feeling, for as a coach, when you have your team, when you have your 9-hole hitter who you can trust late in the contest to maybe tie a ball game up or get your team close into a certain situation.
Fitzgerald takes a fastball low. 54 homers entering the tournament, 3 more last night. One of 2 Iowa natives on this team, Fitzgerald and Spencer Halloran. They were high school rivals. And now they're teammates here at HBU.
Fitzgerald went 1 for 4 last night, but, you talked about it with the home run, 3 RBIs. 1 for 9 versus University of New Orleans in the series this season. Jack Fitzgerald, you talked about being an Iowa native. 3 football state championships for this kid. Went to the state championship game 3 times. So he's an all-around athlete. And that's what I like to see from some of these athletes, especially at the college level. As a coach, you definitely want to recruit kids who, play multiple sports. They use different muscles. And they just bring a certain type of attitude to your baseball team.
There's a called strike. What have you seen differently from Ryan Warzek since his strong first inning? His fastball command seems to be eluding him.
Well, when you had to go through the heart of the order for the Houston Baptist Huskies, Jake Pouchon, Grant Buck, they just sat on the fastball. They just put it where it needed to be. Sometimes you just can't, pitch against good hitting. Sometimes you can't hit against good pitching, So I think Houston Baptist just got the better of him. I do like the way Warzak is pitching. He's still getting first batter outs, and he's still throwing first pitch strikes.
And there's a walk. Nice work from Fitzgerald. The number 9 hitter turns the lineup over with a leadoff base on balls. The first issued by Warzak tonight.
Great AB there by Jack Fitzgerald to take some pitches.
Shortstop number 3, Tyler Johnson.
Warzak already up to 40.
Well, here's Tyler DePretta Johnson, already 3 assists in the field. 2 of those very difficult short hops. And he takes outside.
Jack Fitzgerald over there on first base almost got caught leaning. Took an extra step early before Warzak could release the pitch.
HBU rewarded for getting out to California early in the recruiting season to get Tyler DePretta Johnson, who was sort of lightly recruited, found his way to Golden West College after playing on a travel team, was the backup middle infielder, got an opportunity at shortstop and never lost his job. But UC Irvine and Long Beach State, 2 good baseball schools in California, had offers for Tyler DePretta Johnson, but HBU was first. And he came to Houston, and now a big part of this team, the leadoff batter and smooth fielding shortstop.
Best hands ever, as the Coach Moon called it. Houston Baptist right here, possibly looking to lay down a sacrifice bunt. You want to try to get that run over to second for Jonathan Dukoff.
And now they have the runner picked off. Fitzgerald down to second. Well executed from UNO. Warzek over to Crabtree. Willis applies the tag. That was a nice pickoff move from Warzek.
I talked about it earlier. I saw Jack Fitzgerald leaning early on, and he did it again. He took off on first motion, and Warzek was able to counter, and the Privateers were able to apply the tag on the pickoff there.
The 1-1. That's over the inside for a strike. Now, DePretta Johnson struck out looking his first time up, now facing a 1-2 count.
DePretta still struggling at the plate, 0 for 3 last night, but did get on base twice with 2 walks.
Now late swing and a fly ball out to right. Here comes Pierce Howard in foul ground, goes into a slide. And it's back onto the concourse.
We talked about the open field here early on, but in the outfield, more so on the left field and the right field foul lines, it's really tight out there. We saw that last night with the foul ball that hit just 2 feet outside, 2 feet of the 2 feet to the right of the right field line.
Right back up the middle, hits off Warzek on its way into center field. Simple approach from Tyler DePretta Johnson on 1-2.
Great job to send that pitch right back up the box. He caught a pitch right down the middle, kept his weight back, textbook. And right off I think it caught him on the arm there. Brian Warzek.
Good news, he looks to be okay. No visit from the pitching coach or trainer for UNO. And there's Jonathan Dukoff. DePretta Johnson gets his lead from first. HBU doesn't try to steal too many bases. DePretta Johnson 4 for 12 on the season. Pitch misses inside.
In the season series versus New Orleans, Jonathan Dukoff did hit a home run. 2 for 4 last night with an RBI.
One and one. These teams met here in Houston at the start of May. And UNO took 2 of 3, 8-1 on the Friday night. 5-2, HBU won the second game of that doubleheader, and then a 2-1 victory in Game 3. UNO finished strong, a series win at HBU. And then a sweep of Nichols. They lost 2 out of 3 against Northwestern State to end the season, but they got in as the number 8 seed after several tiebreakers.
Usually I know in some instances they take the head-to-head, they take the home, they take the run scored, they take the runs against. There are plenty factors that go into the tiebreakers here in the Southland and, other conferences around the country. Everybody has their own certain rules. So, I say that to say their playoff started in their last series, Matt.
There's a base hit to left. Dukoff rips it between shortstop and third. The Huskies getting to Warzek. 2 straight nights, 2 straight aces they faced, and some early productivity. A 4-run first last night, and they're jumping on Warzek here.
And again, they're jumping on the fastball. Great job right there by Jonathan Dukoff, the Baylor transfer. Put it right there in between the shortstop and the third baseman, keeping the rally alive for the HBU Huskies here.
The only out of the inning was the pickoff, and caught stealing Warzek getting Jack Fitzgerald, so that's extra important now. A walk and 2 singled. Now it's Spencer Halloran. He struck out swinging to end the first. And since that dominant first inning, 5 of the next 8 have reached base against Brian Warzek for HBU.
And this is where the HBU Huskies excel. We talked about it in the open. Can they keep the bats alive tonight? This is where they get going.
The runners go. Pitches inside, it's a double steal. More running from HBU. They did it last night against William Hancock, the best defensive catcher in the conference. And tonight they guess right. They get a breaking ball and nothing that Bo Bratton could do behind the plate.
This is where head coach Jared Moon is dangerous. He likes to put on these plays, double steals with a couple hit and runs in there. He likes to get his offensive going through the base paths. You know, you're in the playoffs. Take a chance here and there. Great job. You're up by 1. You got nothing to lose here.
2-0 pitch to Halloran. Nice pitch. A backdoor breaking ball. Steals a strike. It's 2-1. The other interesting part of this lineup, Halloran and Heck, the most power on the team. 9 homers each, tied with Dukoff. But they also have the best speed. 20 steals for Halloran.
Wow.
13 for Heck. So kind of rare you can do double steals with your 3 and 4 hitters, but HBU can do that quite a bit. Halloran fouls it at home plate.
Big swing right there, looking to drive in that runner from third and second base. You can put something into the outfield. I think you can get a run out of it. If you can put it deep into the outfield somewhere, you definitely get one. You're trying to also get that runner from second to third at the same time.
Coach Moon told me about Halloran getting a lot of interest from Major League clubs. Opposite field power for Halloran. About a 6.5 or 6.6 runner with a very strong arm. Fouls it off.
Sometimes these scouts just want to see, you know, some good baseball. Can you not only drive the runner in from second, Matt, but can you drive the runner in from first base? What kind of gap power do you have to the alleys?
2-2 the count with 1 out. I spoke with Lance Thompson, Halloran's high school coach in Iowa at West Fork High School, and he said he was a fierce competitor. Every practice, every game was a competition for him.
Iowa, home of the Field of Dreams.
A real student of the game, said Lance Thompson. Said now he's more of a disciplined hitter, a better eye at the plate. Always puts the bat on the ball. And West Fork High School responded to Hurricane Harvey last year by sending care packages down to Spencer Halloran and his HBU teammates and other Houston residents. This is lifted out to right. Long run for Pierce Howard. That's going to reach the concourse.
You talked about it just a couple of seconds ago, trying to go to the right side. Great job right there. He's trying to get the ball down that right field line. Just can't get it quite yet, but if he can put it down the right field line, not only will that score 2 runs, I think he can end up on second base with a double.
He had a playoff game his senior year of high school. They played Northwood, one of their rivals. Went 5 for 5, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. Takes a fastball inside, 3-2. And then after the game, the opposing coach told Lance Thompson, hey, I thought we'd get him out at least once. Probably tongue-in-cheek. Now here he is in a big spot, 3-2. They can pitch around him here if they so choose, but dangerous Matt Heck is on deck. Full count, 2 in scoring position, HBU trying to add on. Another pop-up first base side. Scott Crabtree coming over. And it's 3 rows into the stands.
You got to get some gloves out there for those fans, some hats or something. They've got to come up with that ball.
Halloran went to North Iowa Area Community College, known as NIAC. His coach there, Travis Hergert, he told me he's probably the most fierce competitor he's ever coached. Halloran was a 4-sport athlete in high school: football, basketball, baseball, and track. And Hergert thought baseball may have been his 4th best sport. Lifted out to right field. Howard has a beat on it. He makes the catch, tagging from third. And there'll be a play at the plate. He is out. What a throw from Pierce Howard. They get Tyler DePretta Johnson trying to score from third. Now a big double play for New Orleans ends the inning. As we take another look at this fly ball off the bat of Halloran.
Here's Howard with the bullet into the plate. Got him.
What a tag from Bo Bratton. 1-0, bottom of the third we go.
Have you been thinking about diversifying with gold but don't know how? Hi, I'm Mike Fulgens, president of Universal Coin and Bullion. As an award-winning nationwide dealer, we help clients get the answers they need to discover the beauty, security, and strength of gold in their portfolio.
Call us today at 866-UCB-GUIDE to receive our award-winning Gold Guide free. That's 866-822-4843.
You deserve a bank that's uncomplicated and insightful. A bank that's overachieving, understanding, and always focused on what's important to you. We're that bank, helping you create your success. Mid-South Bank.
Spectacular defense ending the top of the third inning. Pierce Howard gunning down Tyler DePreda-Johnson at home plate. Good battle between Brian Warzek and Spencer Halloran. It was foul ball after foul ball, and then finally fought one off into shallow right, not deep enough.
You know, but that's New Orleans' game. You know, they like to play a lot of defense. They're not going to hit you with a lot of runs on the scoreboard. They like to manufacture, but they keep themselves in the game by playing good defense, and they got some good pitching as well.
First pitch, a called strike to Scott Crabtree. Zach Carter's been outstanding. 6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts, and 3 ground balls to shortstop. Breaking ball drops low. Crabtree hitting .206 for the year. 1 homer. This is his 22nd start. Nice location with the fastball.
Crabtree, another recruit, Matt, who went to the Louisiana High School State Championship for baseball. Also cum laude as well. Blake Dean grabbing some, good recruits down there in Louisiana, building with the playoff experience players.
Here's DePreda-Johnson on the backhand. Throw to first in time. Giving one for the scouts to remember. Again, he makes it look pretty easy.
Matt, I've seen enough. This guy right here has my vote. Take a look at this play. DePreda-Johnson moving to his right side with the backhand. There's the jump. Throws it across the diamond. Great job by the first baseman right there, Grant Buck, to come down with it. Tyler DePreda-Johnson, another put out. If you're scoring at home, 6-3.
The throw, it seemed like he was flipping a pair of socks into the laundry basket. Just a little flip from first, from deep shortstop. What a throw from DePreda-Johnson. We've seen him play last year and this year. We've talked to the coaches about him. Maybe the best defensive shortstop in at least 10 years in the Southland Conference. Maybe the best defensive shortstop in the state of Texas right now. As Devin Morrill goes up the middle for a base hit. A first base runner for UNO.
And I'd like to see that play again soon. I mean, when I exit the stadium here tonight, Matt, I think I just want to come back in and pay my money and just watch the replay tonight. Look at this guy, Tyler DePreda-Johnson. Going to his right-hand side, and once you actually think about this play, Matt, there was a lefty up to bat, so he was actually shaded up the middle. He had to go back a couple of extra steps to his right-hand side. Man, this guy's amazing out there short. He's a magician.
Well, he has a strong arm. And he showed it there. Really a flick of the wrist, it seemed like, and it was on a line. Moderate stretch at first from Buck, but an accurate throw. Well, here's Darren Willis.
4 ground ball outs for DePreda-Johnson so far.
We'll see how Zach Carter deals with the stretch for the first time tonight. Chopper foul towards the UNO dugout.
I was hoping it was hit to Tyler again.
Now Zach Carter, he and Matthew McCullough, the co-aces on this HBU team, has always been sort of built around the pitching, these Huskies, under Jared Moon. 101 innings, always a nice benchmark for a college pitcher.
Well, right now he only sits at 33 pitches, which is real good in the bottom of the third, man.
Another swing through here. He has all of his pitches working. 2 complete games, one against Sam Houston State on the road back on May 11th. 4 hits allowed, just 1 run in that victory. Needed just 102 pitches to go the distance at Sam Houston State. And on the hands, it fouled off. Also had a complete game against Lamar. Had a good outing against Baylor back in February, 6 innings, 1 run. Picked up a win at Fresno State. So this guy has faced some good teams. Baylor, Fresno State, Rice, Louisiana Tech. Now inside and outside the Southland Conference. Lifted out to right. Long run. Here comes Heck towards the line. Heck lost the baseball. It falls in for a base hit. Fitzgerald retrieves. He throws to second. DePretta Johnson with a good stretch. He thought he was out. But Morrill's called safe. Here comes Jared Moon immediately out of the dugout.
Great job right there by Tyler DePretta Johnson to pick that ball to give him a chance. Coach Moon is going to talk about it. It looked kind of close to me, Matt.
To my eye, he looked out. It looked like a good stretch, a good throw, and Morrill looked out first look.
See if we can get a replay of that. Here it is right here.
Tough play for Heck. He's already shallow, comes towards the line. Maybe here's Fitzgerald calling him off, and he just totally missed it.
Fitzgerald makes the throw to second. DePretta.
Oh, he's out.
Whoa.
That's a missed call. He's out. It's not even that close, to be honest, Nick.
I think this is where, you know, the conversation always comes along, Matt. Every year, every sport, there's a new, you know, there's a new lingo. A mulligan, you know, can I get a challenge flag there? This may be the one you want to see.
The ball's in his glove. The hand's not on the base. Great work from our camera team here. An umpire mistake out at second base. There's a line drive to right. Heck backs up on it. He'll make the catch. Tagging from second goes Morrill. He'll make it to third. First and third for UNO with 2 outs.
Great job right there by Heck to, you know, come back and make a play. You know, usually when, and I think Coach Moon is going to come talking to him again.
Well, they may be saying that he left early from second base or something happened. Moon is really fired up, normally mild-mannered. But he may have gone back to the dugout and got confirmation through video of the missed call.
That's a tough situation, you know, in a tournament game. You know, if you're Coach Moon, you already got a victory last night. You're definitely looking for a victory today. You want to fight for your guys, you know, as a coach. And that's just the baseball way. You know, a lot of coaches do it. You know, he wants to back up his shortstop right there. And after a missed play out there by Matt Heck, you know, the play was still in the Huskies' favor. You know, so great job out there by Coach Moon. Want to, you know, talk to the umpires about, you know, how he felt about that call. One of those unwritten rules in baseball.
Jake Polshon goes to the sides with 2 outs. Here's Owen McGee. And just confirmation, it was not Moon contesting he left the bag early because they would have appealed that. It was simply the play before, Moon going out for a little bit.
Okay.
A few more words, but it was a clean tag, an advancement from second to third from Devin Morrill. Owen McGee bounced out to shortstop, a tough hop play made by DePretta Johnson back in the first inning. Want to know the count. Now the count's 2-0. I mentioned the season that Zach Carter's had, the co-ace with Matthew McCullough. One of his only poor outings recently was against New Orleans here on May 4th. 6 1/3 innings, 9 hits. 6 runs, 5 earned. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts as he fakes to third, looks back to first. And when you look at his ERA, Nick, you have to bear in mind 10 of those earned runs came at Abilene Christian in a wild game that ended 23-20. Here's the 2-0. Misses inside.
You know, as a baseball player, man, I've been a part of some, high-scoring contests. I've been a part of some, 25-20. I've been a part of 1-0, 2-1. But those multi-score games, those high-scoring games are the fun ones. Those are the ones where you have the most fun. You're going back and forth. There's a lot of energy in the contest, and not enough pitching. It's all hitting. It's all using that stick.
Well, it's fun for everyone, but Zach Carter, who saw his ERA balloon, he gave up 44 earned runs this year. 10 of them came in that wind-blown day in Abilene, Texas.
Yeah. So 20% in that contest.
Now there's ball 4. First real at-bat in which Carter's really lost his command. The first walk issued. And now the bases are loaded for the Privateers with Pierce Howard coming up.
Right field, 35 years out.
Now, a conversation with Blake Dean and Pierce Howard as he comes to the plate with 2 outs. Howard struck out to end the first inning, had the great throw from right field that ended the top of the third. His throw from right field caught Tyler Pettit-Johnson at home trying to tag up on a shallow sacrifice fly.
Tough situation for Zach Carter right here. Base is juiced. Let's see if he can get out the jam with a ground ball or a fly ball here.
Called a strike.
Caught Pierce Howard in that first AB with a strikeout.
Off speed drops below the knees, 1-1.
First time bases loaded tonight for the Privateers. They're trying to score their first run of the night as well. 44 pitches for Carter.
Now Howard very patient. Oren Villon is on deck for UNO. Howard 7 homers, 10 doubles. One of the big bats in this New Orleans batting order. Fouled off. Nick, I mentioned the difference in Zach Carter's ERA. If you take out that start at Abilene Christian, the game ended 23-20, a place notorious for wild wins and high scores. If you take out that start, his ERA is 3.25. With that start included, it's 3.91.
Wow.
Now, it's tough. You go to Abilene Christian, you got to wear it sometimes. And Zach Carter has part of a great season. A 2-2 pitch. Good fastball on the hands, and Howard fouled it off.
And you mentioned Abilene Christian, pretty much the, new member of the Southland Conference. One of the newer members. Trying to build that program up there in Abilene, Texas. Getting a lot of recruits from West Texas, that opens up a new market for the Southland.
2-2 the count. Looked like a changeup just outside. Full count now, and the runners will be off with 2 outs. Big pitch in this game right here. HBU leading 1-0. New Orleans, their first base runners of the night against Zach Carter and threatening to take the lead here in the third. Here's the 3-2. And he walks in a run. Back-to-back walks issued by Carter.
Great AB there by Pierce Howard. Took some pitches, fouled some pitches off. He knew his situation there. A walk is an RBI. And the first one of the night goes to Pierce Howard for the Privateers. It's a walk.
Walks typically not a problem for Carter. 24 issued in 101 and a third innings. The 2 straight walks after the error from right fielder Matt Heck. Oren Yavon now, the center fielder. He hammers this out to left. And it's going to bounce off the wall. 2 runs will score. It's a 2-run double, and New Orleans goes in front 3-1.
Great job right there by Mr. Vaillant. Just to sit back and drive something to the outfield. Knew he had runners on base. All you have to do is get the ball into the outfield. You know, with 2 outs, you want to find a spot for it, and he found the spot. There it is, the sit back and drive. Great job out there.
Well, that call at second base looming large from the second base umpire, Robert Holloway. What looked like a clear out. Tyler Bretta Johnson stretching to take the throw after the missed catch from Matt Heck. But Devin Morrow was called safe. That would have been the second out of the inning. And since that point, New Orleans with 3 runs across.
Zach Carter trying to get out of this jam. He's already given up 3 here. If he can get a ground ball in the infield, hopefully to Bretta Johnson right here, I think he can get his Huskies out of this inning.
Nice change of speeds. 1-1. Bo Bratton struck out his first time. A .314 hitter. He's played every game of the season for New Orleans, starting all but 1.
Bro batting 2 for 5 last night.
One and 2 the count. Jay Robinson will be next. Bratton is the 8th man to bat this inning. Finds it foul right past the New Orleans dugout.
I like the fact he came with something hard right there with 1 and 2. That opens up his arsenal right here. He can come off speed. He can go in the dirt. Threw a good changeup some pitches ago. Let's see if he goes back to that same pitch.
1 and 2 the count. Here it comes. Inside, 2 and 2. Now, Bo Bratton, a transfer from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Biloxi, Mississippi native.
It's pretty tight. He just curled out the way of that one. Sometimes the teammates, yeah, we've got ice. We can use you on base. And there's the off-speed.
Yeah, change-up, good eye from Bratton. The count is full, and you can hear the life in the UNO dugout.
Last night when New Orleans took the lead, it was the bullpen who was in the game. John Barr and Reeves Martin. They were the life of that ball club in the 8th, 9th, and the 10th innings.
3-2 is fouled off. Full count, 2 outs.
There's Blake Dean right there.
Tap foul right towards the third base coach's area.
Blake Dean doing an awesome job with UNO here, Matt. 3rd time into the playoffs, into the Southland tourney. Has been deep both times. A big upset yesterday, 8 versus 1 seed. Trying to get his team there again.
A 3-2 offering. All 4. Maybe just a bit high or inside. Suddenly 3 walks among the last 4 batters, and 4 straight have reached, all with 2 outs.
There's that inside fastball. Just couldn't hit that spot right there.
Here comes Xavier Hernandez, the pitching coach and former big leaguer, out to the mound to talk things over.
58 pitches into the contest, Matt. Zach Carter still throwing. You know, his velocity is there. Just kind of missing his spots just a tad bit. Privateers getting some good wood on it. Placing it where the Huskies are not. As I talked about early in the open, the Privateers putting away some good situational hitting right here. You know, they get a guy on, they put the ball in the outfield, down the lines. They're waiting on pitches. They're not so anxious to swing at everything. You know, they know Zach Carter's having a little bit of trouble here. You know, great job by this Privateer coaching staff.
Pierce Howard at third. Oren Yavon at second after his big two-run double. Bo Braden at first. He walked. Robinson stands in. Off speed, misses low. Robinson grounded out his first time up.
Robinson struggling at the plate. 0 for 5 yesterday, Matt. Already 0 for 1 today.
Last ball called a strike. The inning began with the ground out from Scott Crabtree, the 7th straight batter retired by Carter to start the game, but a single from Morrill. The pop-up from Willis that led to the disputed call at second base looked like a missed call by the second base umpire, Robert Holloway, and that opened the door for this inning. Line drive to DeBretta Johnson. He catches it about chest high, and the inning is over. New Orleans leaves him loaded, not before they strike for 3 runs against Zach Carter to the 4th in Sugar Land. Brian Warzak, the beneficiary of 3 runs from his team in the 3rd inning as we start the 4th. Beautiful view of the video board here at Constellation Fields, in the shape of the state of Texas. And darkness has descended upon southeast Texas. Game 4 today. Nick Strong, game 8 of the Southland Conference Tournament. We've had a little bit of the unexpected New Orleans upsetting Sam Houston yesterday. I would say Northwestern State starting off 2-0. Their first time in the tournament in recent years under head coach Bobby Barbier. What do you expect in this tournament? It's really wide open for all 8 teams.
Well, when I saw that game, you know, right before this one, Matt, it was tough. You know, Southeastern took the lead going into the 9th inning. You know, the pitcher tried to go as long as he could, but the fight of the Demons.
Yeah, Josh Green took a shutout into the 9th inning and then ran out of steam, and 5 runs from the Demons to win it 5-1. Well-pitched game. Josh Green for Southeastern and Jerry Maddox for Northwestern State. Here's Matt Heck trying to get the HBU offense going. And popped up behind first base.
And just to piggyback off that Josh Green right there, Matt. He was still throwing 91 in the 9th inning as I was watching, on the radar gun. Great job out there by that kid. He's going to be somebody someday. He's definitely going to be somebody.
And Maddox was spectacular. Worked out of 2 bases loaded jams in the 1st and the 3rd. Kept his team in the game, and they picked him up in the 9th. Wonderful relief work out of the bullpen as well. Tyler Pygott got the final 5 outs in dominant fashion to pick up the win for Northwestern State. The 1-2 to Heck. Bounce to the right side. Devin Morrill has it. Heck is hustling, and the throw beats him. Heck go for 2 on a couple ground outs.
You talked about him and Spencer out there, being some speed demons. He hustled down that first base line pretty quick. You never know who's watching. As a little leaguer, as a high schooler, you're always told to run as fast as you can no matter where the ball is hit. Great job.
Like, this game's seen quite the momentum shift. It seemed like HBU had Brian Warzek on the ropes. They had base runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Spencer Halloran at the plate, one of their best hitters. A long battle with Warzek. Hit a fly ball out to right. I'd say most of the time deep enough to score to Preda Johnson, but a great throw from Pierce Howard ended the inning on the double play. Kept the score 1-0. And then in the bottom half of the inning, we mentioned the bad call at second base. By our look, it looked like the wrong call and opened the door for the 3-run inning. So now it feels like New Orleans has wrestled the momentum back into their dugout, and Brian Warzek, one of the best pitchers in the league, now pitching with a 2-run lead.
Baseball is a long game, Matt. 9 innings of baseball, early on, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd inning. Don't panic. And that's what Warzek is not doing. He's not panicking right now. He's staying to his game. He's pitching his contest.
Some patience here from Polshan. He's worked at 3-1. A hitter's count for Polshan. And he ropes it into left field to base hit. 5 hits for the Huskies. And Polshan is 2 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Well, here is last night Grant Buck, the first baseman, 2 powerful home runs. And a 14-4 win for HBU over Central Arkansas. Homer in the 3rd, the 3-run homer in the 7th. Also a hit and a run scored in the 1st. And a breaking ball spins in there for a strike. Tonight, Buck singled in Polshan on the first pitch he saw. Started with the fastball and the RBI hit. Comes back with the breaking ball on the first pitch here in the 4th.
A big lefty versus lefty matchup right here at 70 pitches. I think Buck is going to be swinging. I think he's going to look for something maybe high and tight. That's where he liked it last night. With 70 pitches right here, I understand, I want to say Warzak is doing his thing on the mound. He's doing a great job, but, the fastball may not be as fast. He may have lost something, so I really think that Buck is going to be swinging. He's going to be aggressive right here at this at-bat.
Good pitch. Buck chases. It's 0-2. New Orleans, its bullpen's in pretty good shape. John Stevens went 7 innings yesterday in the win over Sam Houston State. John Barr 2 innings behind him, and then Reeves Martin went 1. So only 2 relievers used in the opening win yesterday. Swung on it, missed. Warzek sticks with the breaking ball, and Buck had no answer.
Yeah, Buck was a little too anxious up there. He didn't take that good 2-strike approach that he usually takes. Missed on an off-speed curveball in the outside half.
4 strikeouts for Warzek. Here's Jake Scott. Good contact from Scott his first time up. Flew out to left field.
You talk about that pitching line earlier from last night's game in one victory that the Privateers had over the Huskies this season. Warzak started, Barr came in relief, and Reeves came in for the save.
Fastball misses high.
That pitching rotation is pretty normal here for the Privateers. That's the old setup guy, closer. That's a fun position to be a closer. Really fun position.
Two and 0.
But the run at first base and the 2-0 count, Jake Scott has got to swing at something real nice in the zone right here. He's going to wait on his pitch. And I think he said, Nick, yeah, that's my pitch. He was swinging. He was all arms there. Jake Scott got to start tonight, Matt. You know, he just hits better versus lefties, you know, more than Anthony Jones.
Popped up, shallow right, Pierce Howard coming on, and foul ground. And it's not caught. Nearly spectacular catch from Devin Morrill, the second baseman, who goes tumbling in the first row. Just a foul ball.
New life here for Jake Scott. Take a look at the defensive effort by Crabtree and Morrow, just out the palm of his glove there.
And two alert fans, UNO supporters clear. They got out of the way, and not just a little bit. They went up a few rows up the stairwell.
No Bartman tonight, right?
Yeah, giving their team every possible chance to make the catch. And Morrill, who was there second, Crabtree was there first. Morrill nearly came up with it. Fastball stays high. Now, the good news for HBU, it's a 3-1 deficit, but they've made Warzak work, approaching 80 pitches with only 2 outs in the fourth.
Pulshan looks to be taken off right here with full count, 2 outs. There are a lot of unwritten rules in baseball, but I think this one needs to be written down. Stealing with 2 outs, full count, that's the one. That's a high shot.
Popped up behind third. McGee hoping for a play that will reach the seats. What do you mean by it should be written down? I mean,
this has to be in the rule. When it's full count, 2 outs, it's rule number 10.1, section 1, article 1.
Well, you have to go.
Off.
It's strategy, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it goes without saying.
Correct.
You have to go somewhere. 3-2 with 2 outs. A good battle here. Scott and Warzak. Similar battle at the end of last inning. Spencer Halloran, the number 3 hitter, with runners at the corners. Shallow fly ball to right center. Pierce Howard gunned out. Tyler Brennan Johnson trying to tag up from third. Similar feel to this at bat as we've reached 3-2. Fly ball out to deep left center. Over comes Robinson in the alley, and he makes the catch. New Orleans very deep positioning for Scott, and they track down the fly ball. 3-1 in Sugarland. Home half of the fourth inning. Southland Conference Tournament. The nightcap of day 2. Matt Peterson with Nick Strong. HBU with 14 runs last night and a 14-4 win. New Orleans, a 4-3 victory over Sam Houston State. And there is the Santa Fe High School baseball team honored before the game. Head coach Ronnie Wolf throughout the first pitch. Great to see them here in attendance here tonight. And you can see Rome Schubert in the first row with a protective bandage behind his left ear. One of the survivors of the shooting last Friday at Santa Fe High School. He's a sophomore pitcher and he's committed to University of Houston. He'll be a baseball player for the Cougars in a couple of years. But they were on the field, honored before the game, and Wolf throughout the first pitch.
I got a chance to see that team early on this season in their first round playoff game against Waltrip High School. And this team, against Fur High School, Matt, and, this is a team that looked pretty good. They met up against a good Kingwood Park team, who defeated them and knocked them out. But, look out for the Santa Fe team next year. As you talked about Rome Schubert, he's only a sophomore. This Santa Fe team can, really do some things next year.
Scott Crabtree takes a strike. He grounded out his first time. Crabtree, Morrill, and Willis do up. Bottom 3 in the order for Blake Dean and UNO. Now 3 runs scored. The bottom of the third, a contentious inning with an error and an argued call at second base. Coach Jared Moon came out twice, argued it once, and then after an out, which recorded, came out again. I think he may have seen video proof of the error at second base. But as you said, Nick, it's a long baseball game. You'd rather that mistake happen in the third than the ninth.
Yes.
Opportunities for HBU to come back.
Privateer sent up 9 that last inning to bat.
Another strikeout for Carter, number 4 tonight.
Zach Carter only up to 66 pitches. Still has some gas in the tank. Bounce back real nice after the Privateers batted around that last inning. Another leadoff out here for the Huskies. That's 3 on the day.
There's
4.
Devin Morrill. Rounds it foul past third. Like UNO, HBU's bullpen's in very good shape. Matthew McCullough threw all 7 innings last night. They won the game 14-4. Only needed 7 innings for the 10-run rule, so they saved their bullpen.
And there was some light action up last inning, as we saw down there in the pen.
Oh, 0-2 the count. Fastball stays high. Morrill singled. That started the rally last inning. It was bases empty, 1 out. Carter had retired the first 7 he'd faced, and that single started the 3-run inning.
As we talk about new strides in baseball, Matt, as you see the catcher back there, Jake Poulshan, with the wrist guard, and that has all the plays in it as he looks to it right there, kind of like how a quarterback is on a football field. He looks into his, wrist guard for the plays. That's been a new trend in college baseball now.
Buck has it behind the bag, over to first. 2 outs for Carter here in the 4th.
All the coach has to do is yell in 25, 24, and the catcher looks down at the wrist guard, and, he calls his pitches from there. Sometimes you can use it for defensive purposes out on the defensive side of the field. The third baseman, the shortstop may have one. The outfield may have some. And even when you go up to bat, you can look at it as well.
There's Darren Willis, the shortstop. And out to right center. Dukoff in the alley makes the catch. A quick inning for Zach Carter. We've played 4 in Sugarland. New Orleans leads HBU 3-1. Now the fifth from Sugarland. Matt Peterson with Nick Strong. Delighted to be here. The nightcap on day 2. New Orleans and HBU, both these teams won yesterday, trying to improve to 2-0. 8-9-1 due up for HBU, which led this game 1-0. New Orleans fought back with 3 runs in the third. Again, to reset the schedule for tomorrow, 9 a.m., Southeastern Louisiana against Nichols in a elimination game. Southeastern lost in the game before ours, 5-1, giving up 5 runs in the 9th inning against Northwestern State. Nichols survived with a 10-4 victory over McNeese this morning. Then at noon, Sam Houston State, which eliminated Central Arkansas in the rain-delayed game today by a score of 4-2. They will face the loser of this game at noon tomorrow. Then at 4, Northwestern State, number 3 seed, they're 2-0 in the conference, or in the conference tournament. They'll face the winner of that morning game between Southeastern Louisiana and Nichols. And the winner of tonight's game meets the winner of the noon game, Sam Houston State, and this loser in the nightcap tomorrow night. Now these teams could meet tomorrow night. The loser beat Sam Houston State. So, this tournament, it's set up where multiple matchups can happen. As we saw last year, Central Arkansas and HBU meeting 3 times here in Sugarland.
And we got a chance to see one of those together, Matt. I'm just kind of anxious to see how the 1 and the 2 seeds do coming out the losers bracket there tomorrow.
1-1 the count. Is up high. Well, Southeastern was just a couple outs away from going to 2-0 as the number 2 seed. Been to the NCAA regionals as an at-large the last couple of years. Good fastball swung on and missed. And it was an interesting bit of strategy. Coach Matt Reiser, it was a leadoff double in the 9th from David Fry. Tyler Smith struck out, and Fry took third on a pass ball. He let his starter, Josh Green, go to 2-0 before going to the bullpen. As there's a swing and a miss. Nice work from Warzek as Simone goes down on strike. Second strikeout for Simone. A 5th for Warzek. But he brought on his closer, Tassan, the 2-0 count on the very first pitch. Greco singled out to left field. And that opened the door with the next 4 men all singling, and it turned from a 1-0 lead for Southeastern into a 5-1 defeat.
Sometimes as a coach, when that starter gets out there and he's cooking, he's going through 9, sometimes the coach has the mindset it's his game to win or lose. And this guy, he went back out there in the 9th inning, Josh Green, he was still throwing 90, he was still hitting the spots. And, you talk about it. We just talked about it here early on for Zach Carter. There's always that one bad inning.
Right next to the line, it's Pierce Howard putting it away. It's Gerald retired. He walked his last time. Warzak has settled into this game as we see Santa Fe High School, its baseball team, enjoying this one.
The Indians down by Galveston, down 45 South.
Now Tyler DePretta Johnson singled. Eventually stole third base, but was out trying to tag up on a sacrifice fly to end that inning. Shallow fly ball to left. Jay Robinson camps underneath it. And that ends a very quick inning for Brian Warzek here in the top of the 5th. To the home half from Constellation Field, 3-1 Privateers. Welcome back. Constellation Field just south of Houston, Texas. Matt Peterson and Nick Strong in the nightcap on day 2. Both these teams trying to go to 2-0 and stay in the 7 o'clock game tomorrow night as the Privateer faithful rally between innings. They were not into the tournament until the final day of the regular season last Saturday. Survived the tiebreaker to come in as the number 8 seed. They beat Sam Houston State, a come-from-behind victory 4-3. They trailed that game 3-1 in the 8th. But they beat the number 1 seed and now have a 3-1 lead over HBU as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Talk about being battle-tested here for the Southland tourney, Matt. You know, aside from playing your non-conference series, a school like, you know, UNO, you play the Tulanes, you play the South Alabamas, you play the non-conference, the SEC schools in that area. You also get a chance to play some good Southland teams. You know, Sam Houston State, Southeast Louisiana. These are some good teams who can get you ready for the tournament. And when you talk about, you know, Sam Houston going into that last game, you're in playoff mode already. You know, you were do or die out there in that contest. So the guys have been battle-tested through the last part of the season.
UNO built itself a good schedule. They come into tonight's game at 27-30, but if you look at their non-conference, they went to LSU in February and lost. They went to Ole Miss and lost in March. They went to Texas and won 1 out of 3. And they lost they had a win at Southern Miss just a couple weeks ago. So that's 4 ranked opponents, including a weekend series at Texas. So you cannot say that UNO did not try to test itself this season with a tough schedule. Colin Morrow leads off and swings and misses at the first pitch from Carter.
Talking about trying to get your RPI up as high as you can. You know, and that's one thing that the Southland can let you do. You know, when you play all these schools in the area, you know, there are a lot of teams, a lot of ranked teams down here in the southern part of the United States.
That's one of my favorite things about college baseball. Unlike basketball or football, where some of the blue bloods, some of the big schools can avoid the smaller schools, they say, what's in it for us? In college baseball, you need your midweek opponents. You need the teams to face on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, so the smaller schools get a shot against the big schools.
Yes.
And even in the case of UNO against Texas, some of the big schools have bye weekends, so a school from the Southland can play a school like Texas and really test itself. Under the glove of Tyler DePretta Johnson as he ranged to his left. Morrill aboard with his first hit tonight.
Great job by Morrow right there just to put it right back up the middle where Tyler DePretta wasn't. Take a look at the pitch on the outside half. He's a lefty, so he went opposite side, but just put it in a good spot for a leadoff hit here for the Privateers.
Surprising to see Tyler DePretta Johnson not keep that on the infield. He's set the bar so high for himself with his defense his 2 years in Houston.
Last season, 9 errors. This season, 1 error.
Owen McGee. He walked and scored in UNO's 3-run third inning. Rounded out to shortstop in the first. Just low.
Again, Zach Carter sitting at 78 pitches going up against Owen McGee right here, who has already hit for the cycle this season, Matt. May 11th against Nicholls State. First team Southland Conference player. Delgado Community College. Right there, not too far from UNO. Also played high school baseball in Louisiana, made it to the state tournament as well. So again, playoff experience with this UNO baseball team.
Nice block from Jake Pulshan. Morrill holds it first. 3 hits allowed by Carter, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. All 3 of those walks coming in the third when New Orleans scored 3 and batted around. Another throw to first. Easy dive back in from Colin Morrill. Just one steal on the season. New Orleans does not try to steal too many bases. Their leader in steals, Jay Robinson, with 8. Fly ball out to center. Dukoff into the alley. Makes the catch.
Dukoff tried to make a play. And I think that's just more of a, I just want you to know I'm out here type of play. You know, I don't think he was, you know, guessing to tag him up right there. But, you know, I'm out here. Don't take too much on me next time. He did get he got more than halfway down to the bag down the first base, between first and second base out there.
Pretty good throw from Dukoff in right center, sort of flat-footed. Nearly all the way back to first. Pierce Howard, a walk his last time. Carter struck him out in the first inning. Great throw in right field, one of the big plays in this game. Ending the third, a possible sacrifice fly, turned it into a double play. His throw home allowed Bo Bratton to tag out Tyler DePreta-Johnson.
Could be a difference maker in the score as well, Matt. That stopped the Huskies from scoring their second run of the contest.
Yeah, and then in the ensuing bottom half, 3 runs scored by the Privateers.
Double play ball from Carter right here could be real big for the Huskies.
Outfield straight away and pretty deep. Third baseman Simone off the line. So he fouled it back. He lost his protective wrist guard. Pierce Howard, a freshman out of Silver Spring, Maryland. A big role, batting number 3 for the Privateers.
Yeah, Pierce Howard again, you know, he was a big key in, you know, last night's victory over the Bearcats. 2 for 4 in that contest. 4 for 4 versus HBU this season in the season series they played. 4 for 14, actually, excuse me.
Howard strikes out, chasing a high fastball out of the zone. He's upset with himself.
Good job to come upstairs with 2 strikes. You know, kind of fooled him. You know, he's already struck out once, so it's kind of in his mind. You know, you can't catch it with my fastball. And that's what I like about Zach Carter. He's not afraid to challenge you here with 2 strikes.
Pickoff play back in safely as Morrill. Oren Veillon, the biggest hit of this game so far. His 2-run double in the third. The key hit in the 3-run rally.
One of the best hitters on this ball club. Last year, he led the team in home runs with 15. Also RBIs with 53 last season. Does have home run power. He hit a home run versus the Huskies early on this season in the conference play. And I like his hair out there. He's got like the long mullet braid type of deal. I'm not sure why he held up on that one. That couldn't get more down the middle than that, Matt.
Right at the belt. Maybe expecting a different pitch. Kind of looks like Bronson Arroyo a little bit.
Yes, Bronson Arroyo used to pitch for the Cubs and the Reds. Journeyman, actually.
Big swing and a miss. Well, he got his money's worth that time after watching the 1-0 pitch come across the belt. He ripped it, came up empty.
I just talked about Zach Carter challenging his hitters. 2 pitches right down the middle. One he looked at and one he swung at. 1 and 2 right here. I'm really anxious to see what he'll throw. I'm not sure if he's going to come with anything off speed. I think he may go ahead and challenge him one more time. But he does have a pitch to waste right here, Matt. He doesn't have to throw it right down the middle. He doesn't have to throw a strike right here. Good old waste pitch would go in his favor.
1 run, 5 hits. For HBU, 3 runs on 4 hits.
There's the waste pitch. High and outside. He's got 2 more chances.
And it looks like they reversed that error on Matt Heck from the 3rd inning, which sort of makes sense. Delayed steal of the cut off first, and he's out. Nice play from Polshan. He throws out Colin Morrill, who got caught in between first and second. Not sure if it was a delayed steal or a missed sign, but nonetheless, the inning comes to a close. Nice work from Polshan. We've played 5 in Sugar Land. Privateers in front. As we look back at the final out at the bottom of the 5th inning, Colin Morrill gets a big secondary lead, halfway breaks, and gunned out by Jake Polshan.
Yeah, great job right there by Polshan to notice the big secondary lead. He got a little bit too much extra right there coming from first base. Not what you want to do when you got that rally going, and not to mention, you got one of your best hitters up at the plate.
Oren Veillon will bat in the bottom of the 6th after Morrill was gunned out. Well, here's a big inning for HBU. Dukoff, Halloran, and Heck do up. 2, 3, and 4 in the order for the Huskies. 3rd time they'll face Brian Warzek.
And I see some action up in the bullpen down there for UNO. But this is the best chance that the Huskies are going to get here in the top half of the 6th inning.
See the guys getting loose down in the Privateer bullpen. Swing and a miss from Dukoff. A single and a pop out for Dukoff tonight. Spectacular year dealing with things off the field. Follicular lymphoma. He's now cancer-free. Took his last oral chemo treatment just a couple nights ago. And immunotherapy worked for him, where they inject fighter T cells into the body, and they're engineered to attack the cancer cells, teach the body to attack the cancer on its own. Worked out for Dukoff and able to play almost every game this season for HBU, and a big part of Jared Moon's team. Trying to go to 2-0 here in the Southland Conference Tournament.
You know, every time you mention that story, I just think about, you know, this guy being a fighter. This guy battling through any and every type of adversity there is. Called that a strike there. Full count.
It's called a ball, I think.
Oh, that was the ball. Okay.
Yeah, it was 2-2 on that pitch.
Gotcha.
And that's hammered into left field, a base hit. Dukoff aboard with his 2nd hit tonight.
The leadoff hit for the Huskies here by Dukoff, right in between the shortstop and the 3rd baseman. This can get things started. We talked about it. 2, 3, 4 coming up here for the Huskies. This is their power order. Spencer Halloran and Matt Heck on deck. This is where the Huskies need to mash the gas on the offensive side of the baseball.
Halloran, a long battle with Warzek his last time up. As we have a mound visit. Rudy Darrow, the pitching coach for UNO.
Now, is that the same guy that brought out the rosin bag earlier, getting back into the the bullpen there, or he's going to open up the gate?
Christopher DeMayo, a sophomore, out to the bullpen in preparation. "94 pitches for Warzek. Dukov gets his lead at first base.
Just got confirmation that was John Barr warming up in the bullpen out there for the Privateers. John Barr first out the pen last night for the Privateers. Got the victory in the victory versus Sam Houston.
Want to know the count. Pitch runs inside. Travis Hergert is junior college coach, North Iowa Area Community College. Told me a good story about his first day at BP. Halloran came in as a non-scholarship player. They throw to first. Dukov back in safely. You have a large roster to begin with at junior college. He was in the 8th hitting group out of 8. But he put on a show in his group, and Coach Hergert and the rest of the coaches thought, who is this guy? So they moved him up into the 4th group for the next round of batting practice. Called a strike, 2-1. Spencer would outplay the incumbent left fielder in the fall under scholarship. And his teammates over his 2 years won 96 games and went to 2 JUCO World Series. Bounce towards short. Willis has it to second for 1. The relay, not in time. Halloran runs too well. Dukov is forced. Nice play in the hole from Darren Willis, the shortstop.
Great job by Willis right there to at least get 1. Went to his right side. Step back, textbook, at least got the 1, and Morrow tried to get over to the first base and just couldn't catch Spencer Halloran.
One of the sophomore starters on this team, Darren Willis. Nice footwork. Seemed calm that entire ground ball as he got the force out. Now it's Matt Heck. Go to first. One other thing that Travis Hergert, the Nyack head coach, told me about Spencer Halloran. Best sport for Halloran in football. He was a great running back. But you're just tired of getting hit. Tired of the contact, and baseball is much more forgiving in that way.
Baseball is a sport with long longevity. You know, guys have been playing upwards to 40 years old lately.
And part of the recruitment process, Halloran to HBU. HBU assistant coach Russell Stockton. They've recruited players from Nyack for several years. Off-speed breaking ball. Nice change of pace. And Heck's going to step out here on 0-2.
You would think Iowa, Midwestern State, pretty cold. Not out of baseball, but one of the best junior college baseball states in the country. You know, it's up there when you talk about Florida baseball, Texas junior college baseball, even California junior college baseball, but Iowa's right there as well.
Big pitch coming here. 0-2, Matt Heck, the possible tying run. Heck swings and misses. Good breaking ball in the dirt. Digging for second and sliding in safely, Halloran.
Now Heck is going to be out. He can't get to first base while first base is occupied. He's out there, but the runner can advance to second base, and he's safe there.
Good hustle from Halloran to make it to second base. Key strikeout for Brian Warzek. He's really settled in. He seemed to be the pitcher on the ropes in the third inning, but has limited the damage to just one run. Now it's Jake Polshan, 2 for 2, a double and a run scored in the second. He singled his last time.
Polshan has a chance to bring this contest to within one if he can drive in this runner from second base. Already 2 for 2 on the night, having a good night here for the Huskies. Another junior college transfer from California, the Pipeline. And I also mentioned yesterday, man, and I want to apologize. I mentioned Polshan is from Mount San Jacinto College in California. It was Mount San Antonio in the state championship this weekend in the California Community College Baseball Association.
1-1 the count. Polshan with power, the possible tie and run. Big swing and a miss. Challenge fastball from Brian Warzek as he's gone over 100 pitches. 1-2 with 2 outs. Halloran at second. Grant Buck, big power in the on-deck circle.
Polshan 1 for 11 against the Privateers this season in conference play. He's 2 for 2 so far tonight with a double and a single.
Warzek's been a great battler. A lot of these long at-bats with 2 outs. He has won eventually. We'll see what happens here on 1-2. Line foul right towards the HBU dugout.
First base coach making the play there for the Huskies.
Another good battle from an HBU hitter against Brian Warzek. Activity in the Privateer bullpen. Christopher DeMeo getting loose. He was running out there for his own reasons to get warmed up.
I thought he was the one who brought the rosin bag in from the outfield.
The 1-2 pitch. Foul back. This is good old school baseball here. The pitcher pitching past the 100 pitch mark, challenging a power hitter who's the possible tie and run. This is fun to watch.
His third long battle tonight versus the Huskies. Halloran, Scott, now Polshan.
Swing and a miss, the breaking ball once again. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brian Warzek. He gets Heck and Polshan and gets out of it once again. 3-1 Privateers. Manual scoreboard here at Constellation Field in Sugar Land, Texas. 3-1 Privateers. The big 3-run third inning has been the difference. HBU 14 runs last night, but they've been held quiet by Brian Warzek apart from the second inning. And these folks have been dancing between just about every inning behind the Privateer dugout. Now Zach Carter benefited from his catcher, Jake Polshon, throwing out Colin Morrill to end the fifth. So he'll face Oren Veillon to begin the sixth. Veillon, Bratton, and Robinson due up. 4, 5, and 6 for UNO.
Big part of the order here for the Privateers.
And on the hands popped up towards third, Elijah Simone. 1 out.
Another great job there by Carter to get a leadoff out here for the Huskies.
Veillon with the big hit in this game, the 2-run double in the third off Carter. Now Carter has allowed 4 hits, has walked 3, struck out 5. Again, all 3 of those walks came in the third. See this so often with pitchers, Nick. A great outing, but 1 bad inning. In this case, the third has cost Carter so far. Base hit up the middle. Bratton aboard after walking his last time.
Great job right there by Bo Bratton to just kind of notice, that Carter's throwing fastballs. He's throwing strikes. Go up there swinging. It's late in the game. 92 pitches. He's probably lost a little bit on his fastball. You can put the bat on the ball right now in a good spot.
Jay Robinson, the left fielder. A pop out and a ground out so far. Carter, a 1-2-3 first inning, a 1-2-3 second, a 3-run third, but then a 1-2-3 fourth. He faced the minimum in the fifth after Polshon threw out Morrill. Now he's faced the minimum apart from the third when he had the Privateers bat around. Out to center field. Dukoff comes on. 2 outs.
I like the way Dukoff took his first step back and he came in on that ball right there. Dukoff is a great center field. We've seen him cover some ground out there in the outfield. This defensive outfield for the Huskies with Dukoff in center field, Mac Heck over there in right field, and even Jake Scott showing some promise tonight. He'll get him the start for Anthony Jones here in left field. That outfield is pretty, I like it. It's pretty awesome.
Very athletic. Halloran, we mentioned, the multi-sport star. Dukoff, extremely athletic. And Heck, we saw the hustle and grit as he crashed into the wall for a double play last night.
And again, I think that was a difference maker early on for the Huskies. Because if he doesn't make that play, Matt, the Bears hop on the board with a run early on in the first inning. It's a different ball game. That ended the inning with the double play to go along with it. That was great.
Two 2-0 for Scott Crabtree. Out to left towards the line is Halloran. He'll have room, and the inning is over. Nice work from Zach Carter. He's gone 6 innings here in day 2. New Orleans stays in front, 3-1. John Barr, the new pitcher for UNO. A junior right-hander out of Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, away of Northwest Florida State. Very impressive outing from Brian Warzak. He fought through some early struggles, and he gave his team 6 innings. Now Barr, who pitched yesterday, as New Orleans upset Sam Houston State. Barr, 2 scoreless innings, no hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts through 32 pitches. So how's he going to feel coming back today, just one day later?
Good. He's a pitcher. He's a bullpen pitcher. He likes to come out the bullpen. This is what his job is on the baseball club. You know, he comes in, looking to throw strikes. He come in looking to get outs. This is the life of a bullpen pitcher. He's the setup guy, as we talked about earlier, for the closer, Reeves Martin. This is what I saw yesterday against Sam Houston. This is what I talked about in the open. This is their strength, the bullpen.
Quite a year for Barr. He has now made 28 appearances, 2.00 ERA. All out of the bullpen, and he's factored in 9 decisions. He's 6-3. You seldom see that many decisions from a reliever.
Yeah, usually, when you talk about the pitching rotation, the day before the series, you're with your pitching staff. You're letting the guys know, hey, this is how we're going to play things. Who's coming out the pen first? Who's going to close? Who's going to come out the pen when we're down? Who's going to come out the pen when we're up? It seems as though they're bringing Coach Dean is bringing this guy in when there's a lot of not necessarily win opportunities there, but maybe some tied opportunities, because if you take the lead after a tie or take the you lose after a tie. Sorry about that. But you usually get the decision after that, So the fact that he's getting a lot of decisions out of the pen means that he's coming in game time decisions.
Here's Grant Buck. Takes ball 1. Now Buck, one of the stars last night, 2 homers, including a 3-run shot in the 7th. An RBI single tonight for HBU's lone run. 1-1 the count. John Barr, very tough to hit. Just 44 hits allowed in 63 innings. 63 innings this season. Opponents hitting just 198 against John Barr.
One thing I like about the Privateers right now, they're playing Grant Buck straight up. Everybody's straight up the middle here. I know he had the 2 home runs last night to left field, but with a guy like Barr coming in, throwing 88, 89 miles per hour, you've got to play this guy straight up. You've got to give him a chance.
It's Buck, Scott, and Simone due up. 6, 7, and 8 in the order for HBU. And there's a base hit right back to the middle. Skipped off the mound. Buck, his 2nd hit tonight.
And again, he noticed that John Barr is in the contest. He throws strikes. We got to come up to the plate swinging right here, and he put it right back up the box. Good job there by Grant Buck.
Designated here number 2, Jake Scott.
Scott, 2 fly balls to left his first 2 trips. And he's in there against the righty. As you mentioned earlier, an opportunity to start against the left-handed throwing Brian Warzak. He stays in to face the righty, John Barr.
Double play depth there for the Privateers.
Warzak only 2 1-2-3 innings in his outing. Hit towards short. Nice play from Willis. Flips to second. A high throw to first goes off the screen to the dugout. Now Morrill rushed his throw with the speed of Scott hustling up the line.
Well, good job there by Darren Willis to, again, make sure you get the first out. He came to his right side, had to go quickly back to his left, but Morrill had the overthrow. But what I like best about that play there, Matt, it was the catcher, Beau Breton. He was backing up the throw there on first base.
And credit for HBU to put Buck in motion. If not, that's likely a double play, because the throw is so much easier for Morrill if there's no base runner rushing his throw. You saw on the replay where that throw was made, Scott was very far from first base. Now, putting the runner in motion likely avoids a double play. Simone takes ball one. He'll be happy to see a new pitcher out there in John Barr. He struck out twice in 2 trips against Brian Warzek. Borderline pitch called a strike.
You know, we saw earlier that, Warzak came in and he had a couple of, deep into the counts and throwing for a lot of first pitch strikes. And we see John Barr doing the same thing, coming in, pounding the strike zone early.
1-1 with 1 out. Traffic throughout the night on the bases for HBU, but only 1 run to show for it. And it comes off the glove of Bratton. 390 feet. And as Scott takes second on the pass ball. Well, tomorrow morning, day 3 of the Southland Conference Tournament, an elimination game. Southeastern, which had a 1-0 lead into the 9th inning today, but allowed 5 runs against Northwestern State. The number 2 seed against Nichols. They survived their first elimination game today with the win over McNeese, 10-4. 9 a.m. Central on ESPN+.
I got a chance to watch some of that game early on, Matt, and the starting pitcher for Nichols went deep into the contest, throwing over 125 pitches, to keep his team from avoiding elimination. Great job out there by that guy.
Pickoff played a second pretty close, but Scott back in safely.
I like how Morrow kept the tag on Scott out there when after he applied the tag with the glove, he kept it up as he was coming up on the bag just in case that he, stepped off the bag right there.
Nick, that was Caden Hatcher, 8 innings for Nichols, threw 130 pitches to keep his team's season alive earlier today. Scattered 8 hits for McNeese. As Nichols got to Kane Ukert. Single runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. They broke it open, and 4 in the 8th. Well, McNeese season ends at 25-33. Another pass ball off the glove of Bratton. And hustling down to first base is Simone.
This is where it's going to get tricky for the Privateers, because now you have to worry about head coach for the Huskies, Jared Moon, putting on a play right here. Let's take a look at this again. Looks as though Bratton was setting up outside. Didn't expect the curveball inside. And the ball gets all the way back to the backstop. We've seen a couple of double steals last night and tonight from Coach Moon. I like to see what he has to offer here with runners at 1st and 3rd.
Big spot for Jack Fitzgerald. A big home run last night. Really the final blow to Tyler Gray in HBU's big win. A tying runs on first base and Elijah Simone. He's bunting and is back into the screen, 0-1.
So right there, the Huskies went with a little safety squeeze there, trying to get it down the right side of the infield, trying to get it down the first base side.
Jake Scott leads from 3rd. Simone leads from 1st. Middle infield playing for 2. McGee is at the cut of the grass at 3rd. Fake to 3rd, look to 1st. So many possibilities here with only 1 out. Fitzgerald tried to bunt the first time. He does bunt, ideally towards 1st, towards Crabtree, who has to hold on the back runner, Simone. Here he shows bunt and takes a strike. Curveball right there at the knees.
would have been a great pitch to bunt down the first base line, as you saw the third baseman over there, Owen McGee, charging. He wouldn't have had a play. It would have been towards the first base side, Scott Crabtree, and that would have been a perfect bunt to score the run at third base, who is Jake Scott.
Oh and 2. Top of the order on deck. Good eye, 1 and 2. Activity continuing in the Privateer bullpen. Reeves Martin, a right-hander, up and working. He worked the 10th inning against Sam Houston State. Gave up a walk, but he had 2 strikeouts, including one of Clayton Harp to end it. So Martin working down in the bullpen for UNO. The pitch. Foul back.
Coach Moon didn't put anything going right there with 2 strikes. Gonna let his hitter right here attack the outfield somewhere. Huskies trailing 2, so you want to get at least 1 right here out of this situation. If Fitzgerald can at least put something up into the outfield, take a pitch at his chest high, try to get it as far as he can out of the outfield, he can score Scott from third base.
Fitzgerald out of Mason City, Iowa. Transfer from Kirkwood Community College. A senior on this HBU team. And there's the strikeout. Handcuffed him with off speed over the inside.
Another great job right there by this setup guy, John Barr. I like it. Coming in, throwing strikes, pounding the zone. Had a little trouble there, but at the end of the day, you win the battle. You set your closer up, Reeves Martin in this case. And good job right there with 2 outs now for the Privateers.
Big at bat for Tyler DePretta Johnson. 1 for 3 with a single in the third. First and third, and now 2 outs in the 7th. Curveball in there for a strike.
Another first pitch strike here from John Barr. Setting the bar early here. Went with the outer half on that pitch. See where he paints the zone this time.
He cannot lay off. That curveball from Barr, too much right now for these HBU hitters.
You know, staying outside will attract the batter to move up on a plate, maybe a couple of inches, and maybe John Barr sets him up with something inside here. I don't know. I only pitch for, I still pitch today, 35 years.
Here's the 0-2. Foul pop up first base side, and that will reach the seats.
And he went outside again right there. Good job there by John Barr. I like the way this guy pitches. He comes in, he throws as hard as he can, and, you know, again, I got a chance to see Reeves Martin pitch last night. This bullpen is the strength for the Privateers.
Huskies have left 6 on the bases, Privateers just 4. HBU's had base runners on each the last 2 innings, and all but 2 innings overall tonight. 0-2 on DePretta Johnson. Here's Barr's pitch. Swung on and missed the curveball once again. Emotion from Barr as he walks off the mound. 2 strikeouts to leave runners at the corners for Barr. Time to stretch in Sugarland. 3-1 Privateers.
Oh, I know what I meant to tell.
Home half of the 7th inning. Zach Carter remains on the mound. Morrill, Willis, and Morrill due up. 8, 9, and 1 in the order.
Zach Carter still going strong for the Huskies. As we get into the bottom half here, Matt, one thing I like to see from Zach coming up here is how does he attack the first pitch strike again, or how does he attack the leadoff guy? He's done a good job doing that. I think he has a better average, a better law average is getting this leadoff guy because the Huskies right now, they trail by 2. You can't give up any runs right here. They do have the bullpen set. No bullpen was used last night, so they are at full strength. But if you can get Zach Carter as deep as you can into this contest and save your bullpen, it's even better for the Huskies.
Morrill singled and scored in the 3rd. Also grounded out. Takes the first pitch inside. Most of this tournament so far, after nearly 8 games, it's been a pitcher-friendly week as it's tipped into the glove. The opening game yesterday, Northwestern State beat McNeese 2-1. Southeastern beat Nichols 4-2. New Orleans 4-3 and 10 over Sam Houston State. So 3 well-pitched games. The outlier was the nightcap. HBU beating Central Arkansas 14-4. An offensive morning game today with Nichols beating McNeese 10-4. But then the last 3 games, including this one, well pitched. Sam Houston State beat Central Arkansas 4-2. And Northwestern State 5 runs in the 9th to beat Southeastern 5-1. And here we are in the bottom of the 7th. Only 4 runs scored between these teams. The 2-2. Roped foul.
Matt, just to piggyback off what you just talked about when you talk about the pitching here in the Southland, we've seen some good ones. We've seen some dandies. If I'm a scout, I'm going to give Josh Green a call from Southeastern Louisiana. Again, I just can't, harp on the fact he was still up in the upper zone. He was still up in the low 90s in the 9th inning. I know he lost the contest there early on or late in the game, but, the guy was still hitting the spots. I think Northwestern just kind of got to him. Again, we talked about it earlier. There's one bad inning sometimes if you're a pitcher. Just so happened to be his 9th.
Foul back.
There was a shot earlier that we saw the scouts, and they've left by now, as you can tell. But, there was a lot of scouts out here also for that last game. They were looking at Josh Green, and I can't remember the pitcher's name for Northwestern State. He was a good one, too. They were both
Jerry Maddox.
Oh, man. Sometimes as a coach, when you're in this playoff, you may go number 2, then 1. Sometimes you go 1, then 2. But it looks as though, you're 1 and you're 2 in these series. Not much in between, So you throw 2, you throw 1. It's just like throwing 1-2. And these guys from Southeastern and, Northwestern, they had a great 1-2 punch.
Brennan Johnson to his left. An easy play for him. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
More leather being shown from Tyler Dupretta Johnson up the middle at the shortstop position. Has had an awesome night tonight, an awesome first 2 nights of this tournament. I just love the way this guy plays baseball. We talked to Coach Moon yesterday, the way he practices, the way he comes to the field and gets ready, and the way he prepares for a ball game. This guy is going to be the real deal here.
Darren Willis with 1 out, bases empty. Take strike 1. Going back to the preceding game, Northwestern State 5 runs in the 9th. I think a very tough call for Matt Reiser. He had Josh Green pitching into the 9th. Gave up a leadoff double to David Fry. Then struck out Smith. Gave up the RBI single to LaGreco to tie it. And then allowed him to pitch to Luke Watson. Watson had a 2-0 count. They went to the bullpen to Bryce Toussaint, his closer, and on the first pitch, Watson single to left. Made it 2-1, then single. Eventually a 5-run inning, but very tough for a manager to decide, do I leave in my senior, maybe his last start for me? And that really doesn't affect the strategy, but there is some nostalgia there. A great outing in the 9th inning. As it's bounced towards third, Simone across the diamond to Buck, 2 outs. But those are the decisions that are so tough for a manager. When do you pull your starter? And very unique to allow him to go to 2-0 and then bring on his closer in a non-ideal spot. First pitch fastball, base hit from Watson, and you're suddenly down 2-1.
Matt, if you leave the pitcher in and he gets the complete game victory, then you're the greatest coach in the world. You know, it's like a 50-50 ball here. You either do or you don't. You know, I'm definitely going to support, Coach for leaving him in as long as he could. You said it. He was a senior. This is his last start. He went deep into the contest, still throwing low 90s in the 9th inning.
Morrill out to center. Here comes Dukoff. He puts it away, and the inning is over. 7 innings in the books. Privateers hanging on. Eighth inning from Constellation Field, 3-1. New Orleans did not get into this tournament till the final day of the regular season. They at the 8th seed on tiebreakers. They upset Sam Houston State, and they lead HBU 3-1. Quite the run from Blake Dean's ball club here, just 6 outs away from going to 2-0.
And the Privateers still looking to bring it home right here with John Barr. He's still in setup mode right here, trying to hold it over for Reeves Martin possibly in the 9th inning. But what I like about this bullpen is here, John Barr is coming in his last inning. 2 strikeouts. In the inning before that, 2 more strikeouts. He's got 4 already tonight. That's what a setup man does. That's what a bullpen guy does. He comes in and gets the outs. Great job here by Blake Dean going into the bullpen late in the game.
First pitch swinging, Dukoff out to short. A high hop for Willis. He stays with it. And on one pitch, Dukoff's retired. Just to clarify, the 7th inning was Barr's first. He has 2 strikeouts. This is his 2nd inning of work. After Warzak went 6 innings. Now Dukoff singled in his last 2 at-bats. He has 2 for 4. Here's Spencer Halloran. It's set up for this to be HBU's perhaps best chance to come back. It's 2, 3, and 4 here in the 8th. Spencer Halloran stands in. Big cut, swing and a miss.
Spencer Halloran with that big swing, as you just talked about, Matt. One thing I like about him, he's not afraid to be aggressive out there. He's taking big swings all night. If he hits the ball, he hits over the fence. Great job out there by Spencer. He knows his strength.
HBU has not solved this breaking ball from Barr. That swing through strikeout from Fitzgerald with 1st and 3rd after he was trying to bunt, and then Tyler DePretta-Johnson struck out on the breaking ball as well. An 0-2 count on Halloran. A deep breath, and Barr comes home. Well, he's sticking with that breaking ball. Matt Heck on deck. If Halloran can get aboard, Heck with home run power would come to the plate as the tying run. Fouled at home plate. Just great pitching, Nick, from New Orleans here in these first two games. They have limited two of the best offensive teams in the league to a total of 4 runs. Sam Houston State, 3 runs in 10 innings yesterday in the UNO win, and then just 1 run for HBU tonight back in the second inning.
Well, again, Blake team has been building this team for the past 3 years or for 3 years now, Matt. And, when you get into the tournament, it's kind of a 1-game series each game. And I'll let you.
Out to right, Howard puts it away.
And what I mean when I say that is you have a 3-game set during the season. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. But in the tournament, it's 1 game, all or nothing. So you can throw all your best pitchers, and that's the best strategy, to throw everything you have each game. That sets the tone. He beat the Privateers beat the Bearcats last night with their best pitcher on the mound and their best bullpen shot. Now they're doing it again tonight. Coming the same way. Here comes John Barr out the pen. Maybe will we see Reeves will we see Reeves Martin out the bullpen next inning? We shall see.
Here's Matt Heck. 0-1. Heck. 2 ground outs and a strikeout. The big 3-4 combo so far 0 for 7 tonight. Halloran and Heck. Been limited by Warzek and Barr. Out to short. Willis to his right. Strong throw to get Heck. He's had a great game defensively. Darren Willis, the shortstop. To the bottom of the 8th from Constellation Field. Privateers in front. Here we go to the bottom of the 8th. Matt Peterson with Nick Strong. At 11 o'clock here in Sugar Land, Texas. The day began 9 a.m. after some weather delay, but we've had it easy compared to some other conferences, Nick. Among them, the SEC, Conference USA, dealing with some much more severe weather in Mississippi and Alabama.
Yeah, and as I was watching, a couple of those games on ESPN Plus earlier as well, man, I saw, some of those games were taking 3.5 hours, 4 hours on the broadcast, so, a lot of weather down here in the southern part of the states. And, but this is the May showers time. This is May showers, and tournament time, so this is why, you start the tournament as early as you can. You leave an extra day, maybe a Sunday for an open day or rain day as they call it. You try to get it out the way as soon as you can here. Great job by the Southland to start this tournament on a Wednesday.
Well, here we go. Zach Carter has been very good tonight, apart from that 3rd inning where he didn't benefit from good defense behind him, a makeable catch by Heck, and then what looked like a bad call at second base. But apart from that inning, he's been outstanding tonight as McGee lifts it out to center. Dukoff puts it away.
Dukoff, the trendy center fielder there for the Huskies, dancing out there, moving from left to right, getting to that baseball. Great job out there by Dukoff. He's been getting to the ball, from all sides of the plate. Jake Scott out there in the outfield. Matt Heck. That's one heck of an outfield there for the Huskies. I like him.
1 out in the 8th for Carter. Oh, the 2 starters for HBU, now gone at least 7 innings after Matthew McCullough went 7 innings last night. I'm thinking of a prior year when HBU won the conference tournament. 4 wins, 4 complete games from their starting pitcher. That's just an unbelievable accomplishment.
Went to the regional that year over at University of Houston. Rice and Louisiana Lafayette in that regional.
No excuse for local fans not to attend now with 3 local teams in the Houston Regional. I went 2 on Pierce Howard. 2 strikeouts today and a walk. But a huge throw in right field. 3rd inning, 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Tyler DeBretta Johnson tried to tag up from 3rd. Howard threw him out at home. At the time, it was 1-0 HBU. They were looking for more. And in the bottom of that inning, 3 runs for New Orleans. Really, the game, by and large, has been decided in that 3rd inning.
You know, sometimes when your defense is cracking, sometimes your offense is not as well. Sometimes when your offense is good, then your defense is on. But, you know, that's baseball. You play both sides of the game.
Change up outside, 2-2. And the good news is tomorrow the forecast looks pretty good. A slight chance of rain in the early afternoon, but optimistic about tomorrow, and then Saturday looks good. Sunny and 91 the forecast for Championship Saturday. Two and 2 the count on Howard. Lifts it out to left. Halloran back towards the warning track. 2 outs.
Great defensive stand out here by the Huskies. 1 to center field, 1 to left field.
In the 9th inning, the Huskies will have Polshawn, Buck, and Scott. 5, 6, and 7 due up. Here's Oren Veillon, the big hit tonight. A 2-run double in the 3rd after Zach Carter uncharacteristically walked 2 straight batters, McGee and Howard. Fastball of the outside for a strike. New Orleans, its team on base percentage, .344. And a walk. That's on 171 of the season, 237 for their opponents. But in that 3rd inning, they drew 3 total walks. And that's been enough tonight so far. They have to close this thing out in the 9th. Try to go to 2-0 and advance to tomorrow night's 7 p.m. game. 0-2 with 2 outs.
Zach Carter still going strong. Pitch 121.
Another strikeout for Carter. What an outing from him. 6 strikeouts as he has gone 8 innings tonight. Last chance coming up for the Huskies. They need 2 runs. Here we go, 9th inning. And HBU trying to send this one into extra innings as Reeves Martin comes in. An adrenaline-charged outing last night. New Orleans, the number 8 seed, taking on Sam Houston State. They seized the lead with the run in the 10th. Off Blake Chisholm and Brad Demko. And Martin came on to close it out. Retired the first two men he faced. He walked Hunter Hearn after a long battle and ultimately struck out Clayton Harp after a similarly long battle. Now, he's been tested here in Sugar Land. A walk and 2 strikeouts through 23 pitches yesterday afternoon. Trying for his 9th save of the season and his 2nd save in as many days here in the Southland Conference Tournament.
One of the things I talked about in the open, Matt, was, can the Privateers get a repeat pitching performance from last night? Warzak, Barr, here comes Reeves Martin. Old school baseball, not many save opportunities. New schoolers, they're going to come in throwing as hard as they can. This is what I like about Reeves Martin. He can touch that gun at 91 miles per hour.
Jake Polshon takes strike 1. Last night it was 7 innings, 2 innings, 1 inning for a 10-inning game. John Stevens went 7 for New Orleans tonight. Warzek went 6. Barr 2 innings. And now Martin.
Martin is going to come here just throwing as hard as he can, trying to throw strikes, trying to throw these batters off.
Slow chopper towards second. Morrill charging, and he boots it, picks it up, flips to first. Not in time. New Orleans has defended the baseball well all night, but here in the 9th, what seemed like a routine ground ball to Morrill, and the last hop gave him trouble.
Kind of got caught in the middle right there on the high chopper. As you see right there, there's the handcuff, and just couldn't put it where he wanted. Tried to flick it over by the flick of the wrist, and you may want to try to stay away from that, because if that ball gets past first baseman Scott Crabtree, that runner is maybe trying to advance to second base. I'd rather him hold that ball next time. You never want to make 2 errors on one play.
Good breaking ball in there for a strike. A pinch runner just entered for HBU. Derek Riley, the junior. Riley in for Polshon. And it's fouled back by Buck. And Buck having quite the tournament. 3 hits last night, 2 homers, including a 3-run homer. 2 hits tonight, including an RBI single. 5 hits in the first 2 games. Bouncer towards short. Willis to second. And they get the force out. And they're going to call a double play for a spike slide at second from the pinch runner. What a call here in Sugar Land. No hesitation as we take another look. What do you think of this slide?
Well, I see Darren Willis getting it for sure out of second place. That's first. But he came in kind of late right there. Derek Wiley, if you can see the slid marks, you can see the slide marks. He came in kind of late. Look at the left leg. There's the left leg going up right there as it touches Morrill right there on the backside.
No argument from HBU, really. After what we saw in the 3rd inning, Riley's pleading his case. A hustling pinch runner, but a little bit too much, I think. There's a line between clean and dirty, and I think he crossed the line a little bit there.
Yeah, I don't think there was any ill will, though. I just think at that situation, he just got kind of caught up right there. Great job by the umpire to point that out.
Another pinch hitter. In for HBU, it's Brady Batten. Well, he bats for Jake Scott. Swing and a miss by Batten, his first at bat here in the Southland Conference Tournament. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reeves Martin looking for another save. Pitches low. 2 balls, 1 strike.
The adrenaline flowing through Reeves Martin's body right now, I can totally understand where he's coming from. This is a save. This is a closer's dream.
Foul back. If New Orleans hangs on, they'll face the winner of tomorrow's noon game between Sam Houston State and the loser, which would be HBU. HBU trying to extend the game down to their final strike in the 9th. Here comes Martin. Count is full. And 2 big calls at second base for Robert Holloway, the first and the 3rd inning on a possible force out that was called safe in a 3-run inning, and then a double play called there on interference. Swung on and missed, the strikeout for Reeves Martin. New Orleans, the number 8 seed, not in the tournament until the final day of the regular season. They've come to Sugar Land and beat Sam Houston State and now HBU. The final score is 3-1. New Orleans stays in the winner's bracket. They play at 7 p.m. tomorrow against the winner of tomorrow's noon contest between Sam Houston State and HBU. My name is Matt Peterson for Nick Strong saying so long from Sugar Land, Texas, with the final score is New Orleans 3, HBU 1. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.